This is day 400. This is day 401 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi shir is sponsored by John Abraham in the for the schus of Hatzlacha in his Limud HaTorah Kedusha. Indeed, he goes Michael Chayil. I'm very grateful to him for sponsoring this week. Today we're doing Siman Reish Ayin Aleph Sif Lamed Tes to Siman Reish Ayin Beis Sif Beis. Okay, well, it means we're kind of finishing up Hilchos Kiddush tonight, which is very long and interesting section. Okay, well, actually not finish. I take that back. Finish up the first Siman of Hilchos Kiddush. Still continuing with Hilchos Kiddush after that. So Lamed Tes. If I had a subvasha kos yain, you thought there was wine in the cup. The kiddush lemon, you make kiddush. UMS, in fact, it was water. So I was to go back and make kiddush again. This is the Jumas Hadesha. Below Dami Nishpa, it's not like where it was spilled. The Benishbach Miwa Kopani Kiddush ala Kosh Yain. When it's spilled out, you should take another cup of wine, and make perhaps a very priyagofen, but you don't have to make another kiddush because the kiddush was said already ala Kosh. But here there was no kiddush ala Kosh. Because it's not wine at all, mayim. But mayim, emekachim, where it is not a substance which is brought for kiddush. Really, the dafka mayim. The Arukh HaShulchan has a bit of a kiddush here. It's only water that is a problem. But there was an alcoholic beverage of another sort inside the cup. Needed to have a shackle. It was the grant you have to make a shackle. Become nevertheless in kiddush yotza. Yotza in terms of kiddush. Emekachim aleim imay mechem medina, which because of Siman Reish Ayin Beis, Ayin Reish Beis. As we'll see in the next siman, that if it's for Chemer Medina, you can actually use it for Kiddush. We have no wine. Vavka b'mayim. Here he says an even bigger Kiddush. Even if it was water in the cup. If there was on the table more wine, should have died to Lishtoisa and might to drink it, during the meal. And so he doesn't require another bracha. Much because Siman Reish Vav. Mil kiddush tzorich, shari kiddush al-mayim meino klum. In other words, you better pick up and make over again because you had to buy that wine, which eventually you're going to drink, and as soon as you realize water, you're going to drink it immediately, of course. But you do need another kiddush because the kiddush on something which is not chemer medina is not chal at all. It's not a kiddush. The issue with the gam kiddush ain't tzorich. Those who say, I'm not sure it says you before he said. Yorli, but he's not quoting anybody. So Yorli is himself. Okay, but he says here, the Avraham is the one who said you still need another kiddush, but you don't have to make another barbaric gofen. The Ishmael will say the gam kiddush ain't tzorich. There's a Taz that in such case even kiddush don't need. The batch meets at us voche. Even the logic it should be like the first vara. Because the cup you were holding had only water. That was when there was wine on the table. You don't make another kiddush because the kiddush on your water joins together with the wine on the table. Mishnah Berurah distinguishes that if the wine is in front of on the table, it doesn't have to make a second kiddush. But if you have das on the wine, which is not on the table, then of course I should say of course because it's partial. Then you do have to make another kiddush. Anyway, the Arukh HaShulchan says it seems to this from the Eliyah Rabbah. So it's clear that somebody has only a little bit of wine. The doctor you should drink not more than not to drink more than lugmav. Deishiel yain. The kiddush hayom olavdol, so they have wine left for the kiddush tomorrow or for Avdallah. Yumem. Yesh mishom those who say shim kiddush b'shakris al shechar. If you make this morning on a alcoholic beverage other than wine, the nishma goes in the cup spilled out, and because you don't bring another cup, though yesh when you pass. Because some say you can even yotze with bread, which causes him iron rage base. I'm going to see you next simon, way down yonder. See where? Number base. What is number base? What is it? Hashem see base? No, it is. Never mind. It's a bracket here, which is not a part of our brackets. I'm sorry. Scratch that. If he has wine, and he has other wine, then he has to bring the other wine. When you have wine, you don't revert to bread. But if you were using beer anyway, then you can revert to bread. In other words, so the person had beer, he made the kiddush, it spilled out. So now he doesn't have to get more beer or whiskey, whatever it is, because he can be yotze with the bread he's going to have by the suda. Okay, and at night it would also be the same thing. So we don't make kiddush on beer at nights unless we have no other choice. You can't say that bring another cup and be somech the kiddush upon the second cup. The belayla yesh birchas kiddush, right? And now you have the brach of kiddush. You have because acher baruch shakol. Bring another cup and say shalach. It's a birchas kiddush. It's not a brach of kiddush. Yaseh hakol kiddush kvar pasakut ein tzor benishma. And to say the entire kiddush, we say you don't do it when it was spilled. Mosh kasam esifel hamen zayin. But kiddush yom is different. There's a fundamental difference, which is very important. All those psukim we say before the kiddush in the morning, they're unnecessary. It's just a bracha you should say before the meal, right? So let's say the kiddush. It's possible to say to be yotze kiddush with the bread, because the bread all you have to do is make a bracha, which takes the place of which is the beginning of the meal, the formal beginning of the meal. So therefore, it's possible to say yotze with the hamotzi. Come on, now let's see motzi because there's no issue with bracha v'dalah. Because bring another cup. Well, but he says, well, I should say there is an issue with bracha v'dalah. He should make a bracha on it. Because we had in mind to drink more beer. When does Baruch Hashem now work? When it's spilled, you didn't have mind to drink more. But you had a mind to drink more here. So you bring another cup, and don't make a bracha on it. Because the first bracha, Pachagam, Mashkish, Dokosu. I mean, Melish, Gamini for a bracha, so this one's also exempt from a bracha. It's a matter to show look at those 7 Shabbos who probably says you have to make another bracha. Gam biyayin shiyabi kosacher and so the right? Like we said that, or same thing with the wine. When you know the wine, you don't have to make a bar unless you didn't have any in mind to drink any other wine, as we stated. Although we saw Mishnah Berurah distinction between on the table and non table, but anyway, you don't make another bracha on the wine. It's not exactly the same thing. I don't want to get into it now because I'm being confusing enough already. But the parameter will tell you before by Kiddush and we have 2 variables, which is the Bari Pri Hagafen and the Kiddush, and they what's the word? I guess let's say they travel independently. That's not the word we use, but they vary independently. And by Kiddush Hayom, there's only one bracha, which is the bracha Abirchas Hanenin. And therefore, there are whether you need the wine table, don't need a wine table, das the wine, not das the wine, those are not necessarily going to be congruent between where there are 2 variables and 1 variable. Okay, I don't want to get into it right now because this is a very rare case. I don't want to go into it further. Those are who feel the Kim Shnish Bachas Sheikh or Mechuyev Levi Kosacher. So it's spilled, you have to bring another cup. It's required. Lo is more Kiddush to pass, not the real Kiddush bread. The royal poskim osim Kiddush b'shachos al pass, because most poskim that Kiddush on bread in the morning is taboo. There's no such practice. They show the sheichor lav dafka, not specifically beer. The wadi yain disarf. It's also whiskey, made vash, shekorin med, and honey water, which is alcoholic. It's called med. It's going to take hard ciders, and even hard seltzers would be the same halacha. Remember, Aleph. Einam sulim rishonim litom mikoshem Kiddush kodem hamakarish. The people are collected cannot drink from the cup of Kiddush before the person making Kiddush drinks from the cup of Kiddush. He's got to go first. The Medvarim was true when they require his cup. They don't have in front of them cups of their own. Or they have cups in them, but they are damaged. They're completely empty. When you go to Kiddush, you have to pour them from the Kiddush kosher makadish. They have to be poured into from the cup of the makadish. If they have kosers which are shleimim, they can drink prior to the makadish. I remember when I was young Bachar and Shalvim sent a question to the Rivos Ephraim, where there was one person make kiddush for the whole dining room, and then and each person would have a little bit of grape juice in a cup. So the question was, is it good in the individual tables to have each person have wine in a cup, or to have one big cup of wine in the middle of the table, and then distribute after kiddush that from that one cup to the other cups? And he said better to have one big cup of wine on the table than distribute to the other cups after kiddush. And in fact, that's because it makes sense, because it makes sense otherwise. But I'm just explaining when he said that it's because there's a certain mile of sholim, and sholim means not just not pogum, but kos yain molik b'irchas Hashem. So you get that mila also at the individual table, even though the kiddush is being made elsewhere in the dining room. Ushnaim shosin kiddush kol echad b'ivnei atzmo bracha. When two people are making kiddush, and each one himself says a bracha. Yivarech echad v'asheni yana amen. One they can make a bracha, and the second one can answer amen. V'char yivarech, and then make the bracha. Lo yana amen ben bracha l'shasiyah. Don't answer amen between the bracha and the drinking. To have a hefsek, because it's interruption. Because it's important. We don't always understand that there's an hefsek issue. Tov Yosef shochad yivarech yicham l'tzi gam hasheni. It's best that one should make the bracha and have in mind to be motzi. The second one, v'asheni yechavin lo taste. The second one have in mind to be Yosef. B'yanu amen and so maybe yishteh and drink v'lam alem shteh. Also, why do you have to make two brachas? Fascinating. It's better to be Yosef with the other fellow, and that might not be a chiddush, but when we were a kid, we all made our own. And that's not true. I thought it was the extra minute, but I don't think it's actually extra minute. That all the boys in the house made their own kiddush. Okay, mem base. When all the people who are there have their own cup, the Baruch does not have to spill a little bit of his cup. It's their cups. How should cause the same pigumim, but their cups are pogum, because he has to pour from his cup into their cups. There's so much of pogum, so much are not. You pour into ones which are damaged, meaning they've been used, somebody drank from them before. The low land, not those which are not pogum, meaning the alien name causes cloud, and they have no cups. So they drink a little bit from his cup. Calls the chatchila is preferential, but the evidence enomakiv. The evidence is not an impediment. When the person is spilling into a cup, he spills before he drinks himself. It's derech. You're not supposed to give a cup you drank from to other people. If he did drink, they drink whatever is from left over from him. Saying the shchumah briskarov, that shvach by, even though you can be yotzi without drinking Friday night, not by Shabbos morning, because since the bracha Shabbos morning is the birchas hanenin, just like any other birchas hanenin, you can't. There's no concept of being yotzi without drinking. They say obviously that because this birchas hanenin has been elevated into the status of a birchas hashevach, because it's made into a kiddush, and therefore it can be yotzi even without drinking. Ein reish beis al ezi ay mekachi, being mekachi shar mashkin, and what wine can use the kiddush, and can make kiddush on other beverages. Aleph, or me and Balabasla. Ain't no make kiddush yom el b'yayin haroyel shoyel nasech hagam mizbech. You only say kiddush on wine which is suitable to libate on the mizbech. Kiddush Barasham, and going to explain it says the dvarim should be the evid kasher min asachim, things which the evid are okay for libations and zech apli shachil and laviyam. They're not appropriate chatchila. But you can't come never kiddush kam chatchila kosher never kiddush. By kiddush os chatchila they are kosher. These are they. Yain begito, which is like fresh wine which hasn't yet fermented. Shadain lo amad karoi, it's not yet fermented. Lo yabin asachim, don't be from asachim. You may be kosher if you brought it, it's okay. But kiddush avila chatchila, kiddush even chatchila use unfermented wine, which we will call grape juice. A person should squeeze a cluster of grapes. Can squeeze a cluster of grapes. Say kiddush. So do wine, which comes straight from the press. You can make kiddush on it. It's a bigger mitzvah when it is wine which is aged already. Mishabur says at least 40 days. And so in other words, it's been fermented. Don't bring for the nesachim from the top of the barrel, because there's like white stuff there. Not for the bottom barrel, because of the dregs. And the answer, but from the middle. He may be kosher, but if you bought from the top or bottom, it's okay. The kiddush and the kiddush you can bring from the top from the bottom. If it's got a white coating, a white crust, then you can't use it for kiddush. The Rabbah says, if you remove the crust, it's okay. It's not a crust, it's like a membrane. Those who say it's no good altogether, it has this white clumps in it, which we don't get at home usually. So you have to first then filter it to remove those clumps. But also by Nesachim, it's also only by Nesachim, it's also chatchila to filter and then use. But here it's chatchila to filter and then use. Base yain shachar lavan wine which is very black or very white, or matok v'chalash or sweet or very weak, or shamar teif or comes in the cellar, meaning it came from a cellar in which some of the barrels had gone bad. So it has a smell of vinegar, even though it tastes like wine. Or should smoking more raisin wine. Call a nesachim also. By nesachim you can't use them lechatchila. If you have a kosher, if you did use it for nesachim, they're okay. The kiddush should be lechatchila. My kiddush should go even lechatchila. Come mitzvah livor yain tov kiddush. It's best to use good wine to make kiddush. Ramban says posel yain lam the kiddush. There, the Ramban says white wine is not good. White wine doesn't mean our white wine. Our white wine is not strictly white. It means the white which is completely white. That can't use kiddush if you have the evan. That's exactly what she was about to say. Ain't a love mam. It's not real. The wine which is good, the white wine which is good, is not literally white. And night to the lavnus, it's like white. Burek. Klama borek shel lavnonis. Whatever, it's a borek is something which is shiny. I don't think I've ever seen white wine, but we call white wine, it's just a lighter color. It's white wine. The Abdullah answer Tokikish. For adults, good enough. People do use white wine. Shabbat says wine which is very white, which be like Ramban, not use the Mekish unless you don't have red by Kiddush. Shachris v'chemer Medina is okay, so certainly the whitish wine is okay. Gimel v'yayin shepasul b'diavad nesachim, wine which is pasul also for nesachim. Yesh shel Kiddush kosher, you should put pasul. Those are kosher Kiddush or shepasul. Ketzad has so yayin koseis, wine which has an edge to it. Shereichei chala, it has a fragrance of vinegar. The time of chama tastes like wine. Pasul nesachim, you can't use it for nesachim. Possession is barred the sham martiv kosher, and which you said if it's from a cellar, it's okay. It's because of the cellar. Ruba gam reichei chamra. Most of them have the fragrance of wine. But if you know that the fragrance is vinegar, it's pasul and nesachim. The kiddush kosher, and the kiddush is kosher. Chaimelan we called reichei chala b'tamei chamra mabarchala barbi agafen the kosher kiddush. When its fragrance is of vinegar and its taste is of wine, so you make a bar priya gavan on it, and it is kosher lekiddush. The Shabura says, Mr. Mufchat, it should bring good wine, and therefore it's best not to take just wine out of the cellar without checking it out. Check out the wine, take it from the cellar before you use it. But vice versa, if its fragrance is wine, but it tastes like vinegar, by the kosher, whatever people refrain from drinking, from it, because of its bitterness, you can't use it for kiddush even b'diavad. You don't make a bar brigavan on either. Ve'ein ze bechlal de'im mekachim ela b'yayin where the mizbech bereichei chala b'tamei chamra. It is not because the principle they only can make kiddush on wine which is suitable for libations, for nesachim, where its fragrance is of vinegar and its taste is of wine. The psulim is back ain't mishum shein yain. There it's puzzle, not because it's not wine. And because there's reach nichach. It should be a fragrance. And fragrance, a pleasant fragrance. Fragrance means its fragrance should be like its taste. Because you just for the taste. Interesting. You know, the fragrance, even if the fragrance is no good, since the taste is good, that is sufficient for kiddush. And there's no reach nichach. There's no reach nichach issue. Again, it's all the evidence. Certainly should go to wine. Diluted wine. It's no good for that, and the sahim is kosher the kiddush gam lechatchila. The kiddush with no hesitation. The psulim is sahim. Why is no good by the sahim? The ksiv sheichar. It's got to be sheichar midim shagar something which can make you inebriated. The shina b'sifri v'niskor revi sahin. Also, we have you libated revi sahin. Chai atom nasech lo mazug. It has to be chai. In other words, undiluted. Yes, from hahin we learn like chai. The kiddush pshita the shemazuk adivin chai because it's contrary. If it's diluted, it's better than undiluted. Shenway called kaklishti because their wines back then were not so suitable for drinking. They're not diluted. Even an undiluted wine, alpha bishu chazak mari was very strong. Shalakav shloshal mind that you can still it's so strong you can still dilute with 3 parts of water and make kiddush on it. The kachalav you can use them for kiddush. Nevertheless, yoysa to the mazgo is best to dilute it. Kiddush shtia barvah so you can drink it with ample enjoyment. Uvachi mazgo karoyish le'ababo mayus when I just shouldn't put in too much water. But that's what about their wines. But our wine, yosa tovim heim below maziko. It's best not to dilute them. Because they're not so strong. But if it's suitable to dilute it, you can dilute it. The raisin wine they used in the northernmost regions of Russia, they're not suitable for any type of dilution. Maziga, if you happen to dilute it, you work shahako. You would make shahako. Ve'imakachi malab, you would make kiddush on it. If you tzatz maziga, you dilute just a little bit. Nasa kamayim kaidua. It's like water, as is well known.